Before I start this video, I just want to say thank you to the following people who subscribed, and please forgive me if I pronounce these wrong. Cam Rat, Dana LePew, Ida Starman, Carmen Yolanda Green, Mercedes Garati, Princess Kim, Sarvesh Kumar, Mattel, Carol's Life Cordell, Stephanie Tilano, Deb Rashmuel, Jonathan Glass, Joan Parker, Jess Marsh, Clarissa Hugan, Big Said. Okay. Thanks for becoming a dark one. I really appreciate it. Please like, share, and subscribe. And make sure you guys stay subscribed because YouTube is very much known for taking away subs and likes. I've learned a lot this past year, but yet I'm still here. Now, in this video, it'll be very descriptive with an image, so viewer discretion is advised. This story happened out of Slaughter, Louisiana on January 3rd, 2022. The Fletchers, Clay and Shelia, resided along with their 36-year-old autistic daughter in this very beautiful, picture-perfect home. Clay and Shelia are described as churchgoers and, quote, pillars of their community, end quote. Had Lacey gotten married? Had she moved away? These were questions that were asked by neighbors. He hadn't seen Lacey in over 15 years. Maybe it's because Lacey hadn't left her home in 12 years. Lacey Fletcher was a normal, outgoing kid. She played sports, exercised, had friends, and seemed to be enjoying her life. Even though she had severe autism and social anxiety, her mother had started to homeschool her during her high school year. It was the 9th grade, I believe. To the outsiders looking in, the Fletchers were taking care of their daughter. Who would question that? So exactly what happened? What was going on in that picture-perfect house? On January 3rd, Lacey was dead. Lacey had sunk into a huge, deep hole in the sofa. Her bony, 96-pound body was otherwise positioned there for well over a decade. It was said her body had infused into the couch. Her body laying inside this hole up to her extremely thin shoulders sticking out. She had on a little blue patterned t-shirt pulled up to her chest, exposing her breasts. Her gaze is fixated on something. Her one arm is stretched out as if she is trying to reach for something. Lacey's face is covered with blotches. Her entire body is covered in feces. There was feces in her ears, her hair, and her mouth. Her hair was knotted and matted. She had feces in her hair as well. The skin on her buttocks looked worn or eaten away, raw, yellow, with lesions. This woman, again, is found in this sunken hole that was created of her sitting in a position on this couch again for well over a decade. Lacey had sat there for years in her own filth. She sat in feces and urine. She was so hungry, she had started to pick and eat parts of the couch. Maggots had formed on her body, in her hair. The wooden floor that the couch had sat on had started to buckle up from so much human waste. Puddles of urine spilled out behind the couch. The stench in the home was beyond disturbing. A portable gray toilet was inches away from her. A pile of nice clean clothes sat folded on the table. There were children's DVDs stacked nearby her. On the black coffee table, there was lotion bottles, talcum powder, nose spray. Lacey had died of severe medical neglect, chronic malnutrition, acute hunger, immobility, acute ulcer development. She had a bone infection and sepsis. Dr. Ewell DeWitt Beckham III said he could not eat for a week after that encounter. He cried. Quote, "She just urinated and used the bathroom on the couch." End quote. When, if ever, did they move this young woman? It was clearly proven she wasn't being bathed, with the maggots forming all over her body, and she had bed sores down to the bone. How did her mother and father walk past their daughter daily in this type of condition and for years? The last time Lacey had seen a doctor, she was 16 years old. If the Fletchers needed help, why didn't they just ask for it? Why did they let their child just sink away and waste away inside a couch that ultimately became part of her body? Why would they keep this awful secret in their home? Shelia Fletcher said that after the 9th grade, they believed that Lacey had developed Asperger's syndrome. Asperger's syndrome is a condition on the autism spectrum affecting the ability to effectively socialize and communicate. And that's why Shelia Fletcher began to homeschool her. They insisted that Lacey decided 12 years ago just to never leave the couch. They said that she would either use the bathroom on the couch or she would use a nearby towel. And this is what they let her do. The Fletchers were arrested and they were bailed out, both on $300,000 bond each, within 36 hours of them being initially arrested. It's believed that they will plead not guilty. How do you let your daughter, now this was 15 years ago, and remember, when she died, she was 36 years old. And yes, we know that Lacey suffered from autism, and sometimes autism patients can be difficult at times. That's understandable. I mean, 100% normal functioning people can be difficult as well. But remember, she was 36 when Lacey passed away, and she had pretty much sat on that sofa for 12 years. So this had to all start when she was about 24 years old. So she just starts to urinate and defecate on the living room sofa, and it's okay. Mrs. Fletcher even says she would clean and wipe Lacey's SARS. That's what she said she would do. And then I guess one day, she just stopped. The couch on its own, it just looks horrible and disgusting. And to know that she literally melted inside this hole, that this couch actually became part of her body, that her skin described as eaten away or wasting away, and in some articles not even there anymore. She had plunged into this hole. Up to her shoulders were sticking out. That's how far and deep she was inside this hole. And she stayed in that t-shirt, otherwise naked, pretty much from the waist down. They said it exposed her breast. That's how deep and sunken she was in this couch, with feces all over her face. I mean, and you just walked by her, in and out the home. I mean, the couple, they look clean. They look like they haven't missed meals. But yet Lacey was so hungry that she had wasted to 96 pounds, and she had resorted to eating parts of the sofa. I mean, they could have seeked out some type of help, some home assistance for somebody to come and get their daughter. They could have. And I've mentioned this before. I worked in that field where I was sent out to various homes with people with various conditions of all ages to help the families that were, struggling sometimes and needed that help. And this was just a sad, sad story. And I decided to add it to the Mother's Day collection because you know what? Even though Lacey was 36 years old, my thinking, you're a mother no matter how old your child is, and your child may need help when they're 36. And Lacey definitely needed help. If they felt they couldn't do this anymore, or didn't even want to do this anymore. They were both 64 and 65 when they were arrested, Lacey's parents. They could have had her go to some type of adult care home where they would have taken better care of her, and we would have never even heard of Lacey because she would have been alive. And this was just a horrible, horrible story. Rest in peace, Lacey.